The following is a Hoop Ball presentation.
What's up, you guys? Welcome to the Box Score Breakdown Show, a Hoop Ball presentation. My name is Adrian Benjamins, and I'm joined by Neil Rochlani, and this episode is brought to you by Hawaiian Isles Kona Coffee Company. Get some delicious coffee, taste the Kona difference, head over to hawaiianisles.com and Amazon. Neil, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing better than yesterday, Adrian. Some good players, including one Zach Collins.
Ah, beautiful.
Thanks.
Hey, didn't you pick up the Caboclo?
He had a pretty good game. Yep.
He looked good too, man. So some of these options are paying off for you, man. I love it.
Man, I love to be able to bounce ideas off you. I don't think I would have got either of those guys who wasn't for us talking. So
You had mentioned Shaq Harrison, who also had a nice game tonight. So I don't know if the Bulls' schedule helps you at all, but he might be a guy. Speaking of the Bulls, this kind of ties into some news and notes. Neil, we heard tonight Lauri Markkanen is shut down due to, Neil, check this out, due to fatigue. Do you remember in the golden age of basketball with like when Michael Jordan was playing and like Charles Barkley, did it ever get shut down for the season due to fatigue?
I don't know. I feel bad for him. Like, did he okay that, or did he like say, "I'm tired"? I mean, that's just bizarre. Yeah. There are rumors that when Michael was here, that at one point he punched Steve Kerr in the face in an argument. If Michael was on this team and Markkanen wanted to shut down for fatigue, he would have got punched in the face by Michael Jordan this time.
It is very clear that the Bulls are tanking, right? I mean, Otto Porter has been ruled out. Zach LaVine has been ruled out. So it's pretty clear that the Bulls are in full-blown tank mode. But I think there are certain guys we can stream. You mentioned in the last show Shaq Harrison. He looked really good here tonight. We'll kind of get into it deeper when we go into their box score. But I think the biggest thing to talk about right now, though, as far as news and notes goes, Neil, I can't even keep track of all of the guys. LeBron James ruled out here tonight. Kawhi Leonard, I believe, is ruled out in the next game. So we saw Kyrie Irving miss time the other day. So I think it's pretty clear, man. It is this next week or so is just going to be very hard to set an optimal lineup when we just like at the last minute guys are going to get ruled out. What do you think about it, Neil?
Yeah, I also saw Frank Jackson, someone we had talked about. He's also ruled out for tomorrow as well. So can't really count on him. This is why fantasy – one reason I don't play fantasy football anymore is because there's so many injuries. Like 2/3 of my team would be injured by the end of the season. And now it's basketball is starting to have that same – you can't trust the guys you have on your roster are not going to play. So – maybe not for injuries, but just they're not playing. So it has the same effect, and it's just really frustrating. I'm glad we finished early. But it feels like it gets earlier and earlier each year. I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, I thought March 31st was a decent deadline, to finish your season, and now I think that's too late. It's crazy.
Do you know how strange it feels, Neil, to be missing and be upset that your team's missing Frank Jackson? Like, shocked that this guy was like a solid part of my roster. Now I'm missing Frank. Like, I feel disappointed inside because Frank Jackson's not playing. Like, this is why fantasy is just at times it's just outrageous, man. But it's a lot of fun.
I know. I still love it. I'll complain about it, but I'm still going to play. I love it too. All right. Yeah. So just the shutdown news just keeps rolling. Chicago's going to have, I think, no one left by the time They have 3 games. They have 1 today and then 2 more this week. So they were good streaming options. I actually got Parker and Portis.
Nice.
I am loving life right now. Anyway, should we? Oh, they play for the Wizards now. Sorry, they don't even play for the Bulls.
That's right.
I got those guys. They're former Bulls, so they're playing for the Wizards now.
But I don't know if we'll have time to get into the Wizards game because we got you, Neil, for 3 games, and I'm going to likely finish off the end of the show the last 2 games. So I doubt we'll get into the Wizards. But Neil, still a great pickup, man. Parker, I think it's like second quarter right now, and Parker's already got a decent line. So that looks like a pretty good ad, man.
Yeah, I mean, when I saw those guys out there were 3 games this week, and I'd rather just, like you said, get my pickups and just kind of, I save 1 pickup for like the last 2 days I want to stream someone, but get the best players and just try to get as many games as possible and see how this works out. So I'm fighting for my life in both fantasy playoffs. Wish me luck. Anyway, you want to, I think it's your turn to start off.
It is my turn. Let's jump right into the box scores, guys. I'm going to start with the Warriors and the Grizzlies. Not much of a surprise here. The Warriors getting the victory 118-103. You know, Neil, the Warriors, another team, I wouldn't be surprised if down the stretch here we see Durant, Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green take some rest days. I think Kerr already said we won't see Boogie Cousins in any back-to-back. So don't be surprised if you miss some games from some of these Warriors. But tonight, it was all hands on deck. And let's take a look at the box score, man. Kevin Durant, how is this for efficient? 12 of 13 from the field, only missed 1 shot in this game. Was a perfect 1 of 1 from downtown and a perfect 3 of 3 from the line. He had 28 points, 2 steals, 5 assists, 9 rebounds. He had it going here tonight. Klay Thompson with 13 points, 2 assists. 1 rebound. He had 3 threes on 5 of 12 shooting. Steph Curry doing his thing, flirting with the triple-double in this one. 28 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks. Gotta love those 2 blocks from Curry. That's great. 6 of 12 from downtown, 7 of 20 from the field, 8 of 9 from the line. So it's a good game from him. Draymond Green, you know, doing what he does, which is some low-end scoring, but gotta love how he fills up these other categories. 2 steals, 2 blocks, 6 assists, 7 rebounds. He had a 3. So, you know, even though the scoring's not there, still producing. Boogie Cousins, nice to see him back, and man, he had a really good game as well. 16 points, 3 steals, 3 blocks, 6 assists with 9 rebounds. He added a 3, shot 7 of 15. So pretty good game from all of your starters. You know, with all the starters doing the heavy lifting, not much production left for the bench. So don't trust any of these bench guys. Neil, what are your thoughts on the Warriors?
Yeah, like you said, Steve Kerr already said resting and health is more important than the 1 seed. So they may not care about falling to 2. If Denver takes the 1, they're tight right there. But yeah, tonight they played a lot of minutes too. You know, it took a big effort. They all got in the not just play, but they played 30 plus minutes, 35 minutes for Durant, 35 for Thompson. You know, we talked about maybe Bogut. That's only when Cousins is out. So tonight he didn't do anything. It'll be interesting to see who you could stream once they rest. If they start to rest everyone, or if they start to rest, you know, their big starting lineup here, the big 5, I guess, as it is. But right now it's not the case. So let's see how they decide to manage it down the stretch. Hopping over to the Grizzlies. So besides that, so there's nothing really to take away. Because there's no fantasy value outside the top 5. And they're obviously all taken. Memphis Grizzlies. Caboclo, someone I did stream as well. 17 points, 13 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks, 1 steal, 3 3-pointers. Adrian, my God, this is so much fun when this works out. When you stream someone and they go and they're like no one I didn't even know of. Like I haven't even seen this guy play. Adrian, I don't think I've seen him play. Like it's crazy. Anyway. Justin Holiday, not much tonight. Jonas Valanciunas big night. Usually centers do well against the Warriors, and he's no disappointment. He's been lighting it up since coming over here. 27 points, 13 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 blocks. Dorsey gets a start alongside Conley, who did start, so I'm glad I held on to him. Dorsey took a backseat, though. Not much in the stat line tonight. Conley was solid. 2 3-pointers, 8 assists, 22 points, a rebound. Off the bench, Parsons and Wright and Rab plays substantial minutes, but no one really delivers that much. Parsons been okay, but I don't trust him. Let's see if Conley goes this weekend. Not sure what to do about him. Anyway, I thought Dorsey might be a streaming option. Certainly Caboclo is if he's out there. You have any thoughts on Dorsey or even DeLon Wright, who I believe came off the bench and just had 25 minutes? Excuse me, so not much tonight. Go ahead. So
I picked up Dorsey, and I wish I picked up Caboclo. You know, he's still available in my 14-team Roto home league. And Neil, tonight I'm going to see if I can pick him up. I think likely somebody's going to grab him because I got low priority in this league. I got 0 fab dollars left. So most likely I won't be able to get him. But I am encouraged that Dorsey still got the start in 30 minutes with Conley coming back. It was DeLon Wright that kind of took the hit. But I do think there is going to be a point where Conley gets rested or shut down, and then maybe we can really trust Dorsey and or Wright a little bit more here. So it's not a bad idea if you want to pick up Dorsey or Wright in like deeper leagues, because I think we will see Conley miss some games down the stretch. But I think Caboclo is the guy you want to pick up. I mean, I would make sure that he is rostered in all your leagues. He looks really good, Neil. He looks really good.
I have to watch him play now. I just have to watch him play. I feel like I owe the guy that. I owe the guy at least a watch.
Yeah, and I mean, there's really nothing that can hurt his value unless we see Jaren Jackson Jr. come back. But I think that's a long shot, man. I think by now Jaren Jackson Jr. is done for the season. And we said the same thing about Drew Holiday, and we were right. So I think we could be accurate about JJ. I mean, we haven't seen JJJ in so long. So Caboclo looks like the real deal, man. I mean, there's nothing blocking his value. He's starting, getting good minutes. He is producing. So make sure he is picked up. All right, I'm going to jump to the second game of the evening, the Portland Trailblazers and the Chicago Bulls. Why is my box score not opening right now? Here we go. The Trailblazers getting the victory, 118-98. Not much of a surprise there. The Bulls, Neil, I know I'm going to get into Portland. You'll take a look at your Chicago Bulls. Neil, the Bulls should just be called the Walking Dead, because I think any other team that is missing more players right now than the Bulls. I mean, almost their entire starting lineup is like out right now, and I can't think of any other NBA team that I can say that for. So really interested to see what you got to say about the Bulls. But let's take a look at Portland first. A little bit disappointing here from Lillard. Only shot 3 of 12 from the field for 11 points, 7 assists, and 6 rebounds. This one was a blowout, so we do got to take into account the blowout factor. Neil, you mentioned you picked up Collins. He looked pretty good. Came off the bench, but still got nice minutes. Shot well, 13 points, 2 blocks, 2 assists, 3 rebounds. He added 2 threes. He shot 4 of 6 from the field, 3 of 3 from the line. Let's hope he can keep this up. Cantor did get the start. He put up 13 points, 6 rebounds, but I think now Collins is the guy you want to own. I think Collins will likely edge him out. Collins plays better defense, and Cantor's not much of a defender, so I think they're really going to miss Nurkic's defense, and I think that's going to keep Collins on the floor more than Cantor. Let's see, what else went down? Neil, I don't know if you're still streaming Aminu, but he put up a double-double, 12 points, 11 boards, 1 assist, 1 steal, 5 of 7 shooting from the field from him. I don't really trust Harkless or Layman. They got the start but didn't do much. Curry and Hood put up decent games. Curry had 20 points in a decent line. Actually, Curry shot very nice. He shot 8 of 11 from the field. But, I don't really trust Curry or Hood because they just, off the bench, they get low minutes. They really have, there's not much for them. What are your thoughts on the Portland Trailblazers, Neil?
Aminu, I'm still sticking with. He's doing okay. I think I would take Cantor, over Collins, but he was gone. So and it's a close call. I think it's closer than most people think. Collins got more minutes, mostly because of blowout. They were up by 30 points, I think, at one point this game in the third quarter. So if it's tighter, they go to Atlanta next. They got 2 more games this week. We know Atlanta's playing really well, and they're trying. So it might be more competitive down there. I will say though, I think there are streaming options though with Collins, with Cantor. And then Aminu, if he's out there in many leagues. Harkless disappointed tonight. Layman, I don't think I'm gonna take. I'm a little less high on him, although he's gonna be starting, and we've seen him start before, like mid-season, and didn't really do much, even when he got a lot of time. I know McCollum's out, so maybe he gets some more shots on the wing. Nurkic is out, obviously, but something about his game, I don't know. I'm not trusting for fantasy just yet. All right. Speaking about the Walking Dead, the Chicago Bulls, plenty of opportunity for streaming. Shaquille Harris, number 1 on my list, delivered tonight, 21 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists, 10 of 17 shooting, led the team in shooting tonight, got 2 steals and a 3 as well. Selden Jr. double-doubles. He's another guy, can be streaming. The Bulls only have 1 more game this week, though, so not a great option, but maybe for that 1 game, if it's worth it for you. 11 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists, had a steal and a 3-pointer. I don't even know who Brandon Sampson is, Adrian. I'm so embarrassed. Played 30 minutes in the start, didn't do anything, so don't worry about him. Blakeney plays 32 minutes, 10 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. Archie Diacono came off the bench, so I would avoid Blakeney and Archie Diacono, because I think those could get swapped a bit. Cristiano Felicio, don't trust him. TLC as well. So I'm only trusting Harrison, Selden Jr., and then Lopez, who I'm assuming is taken in many leagues by now. But if he's still out there, those are the 3 that I think will have value in their next game, or that I trust will have value. What are your thoughts on the Bulls?
Yeah, I agree with you 100% on those 3 guys. It's pretty much the only guys that I would trust. And for me, Caboclo, Harrison, Selden, these are the hot pickups of the night, man. Neil, I'm really only alive in a few of my roto leagues. So in all those roto leagues I'm in, I'm going to check and make sure or put my claims in today on these 3 guys. Hopefully I can at least get one of these guys in each of my leagues where I'm still paying attention. And man, no Markkanen, which is a major bummer, but I am looking forward to Lauri Markkanen next season, Neil. I think next season we could see further improvement from him, and the sky is the limit for Markkanen, man. So he's going to be a really popular draft target for me next season. And that's about it, man. That's all I got. I'm going to jump over to the 3rd game and final game with Neil. The Pacers and the Thunder, and the Thunder getting the victory 107-99. Every victory with these teams fighting at that end of the playoff seeding in the West is huge. So any victory you get, man, it could be the difference between finishing 5th or 8th. So a nice win for the Thunder here, 107-99. I'm going to jump in, though, on the Pacers. Bogdanovich, 28 points, 4 assists, 2 rebounds, 6 threes tonight. He shot 11 of 20. Wes Matthews was, the shooting really wasn't going, was only 4 of 15, so he had 10 points, and also likely, he had 5 fouls, but he did play 32 minutes, so still got a full complement of minutes, but he also added a steal, a block, 3 assists, and 3 rebounds, and 2 threes. Miles Turner, this is a nice game. This is, whatever you think about Miles Turner, if you got him, you can't ask more than a nice double-double, 12 points, 14 boards with 4 blocks. with efficient shooting, 5 of 9 from the field, a perfect 1 of 1 from 3-point range, 1 of 2 from the line. So you got to be happy with that. Thad Young with 11 points, a steal, and assist, 5 rebounds. He had a 3, shot 4 of 9 from the field, 2 of 2 from the line. Collison, a little bit of a letdown here, only 8 points. 1 steal, 6 assists, 3 rebounds. He shot 3 of 10, so the shooting was a little off, but he did give you 2 threes. I had Sabonis locked in my Roto League lineup, and he came through for me off the bench with 18 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists. He shot an efficient 8 of 13 from the field. Was only 2-5 from the line, though, so that wasn't too great. Don't trust any of these other guys. What do you think of the Pacers, Neil?
Every year when I do a draft, there's always a few guys that I target, but I do not get, and that I kick myself because I did not get them. One is Bogdanovich. My God, this guy, I just had a feeling he was going to have a pretty solid year, and it's just been fantastic. What can you say? If you got him, hopefully he's helping you win your fantasy league. Miles Turner, like you said, this is a solid night from him. I could always get greedy and expect more, Adrian. That's how I am, but you're right. This is a really great line. Sabonis as well. He's had a great season too. Another guy who went really late in my draft, and I thought about scooping him up, and I did not. Anyway, I really struggle with guys who come off the bench and drafting them, and it's just a psychological thing. I know Sabonis is going to get high 20 minutes. I know he's going to have decent stats, but when a guy is not starting, it's just psychologically much harder for me to want to draft him or play in my fantasy leagues. I don't know what that is.
I feel the exact same way. I have the exact mindset, but the few leagues where I was able to get Sabonis, I think I grabbed him in like the final round of my draft. So, that's like the very end of my draft. That's where I'll kind of take a shot on guys who you think that could come off the bench but still give you some decent value. Because I agree with you, Neil. I mean, the number one thing you want to target is guys getting minutes, and those are usually the starters that are getting those minutes. So I usually have the same mindset as you, Neil. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So, but there are some guys this year that's making me change my mind. Along with Sabonis, we know like Lou Williams obviously has been doing it for years, and then this year Harrell down in Los Angeles has been doing it as well. So maybe I can get my head straight around that going into the next season. Streaming options, not seeing much here. Indiana's still very competitive, so they're not, no one's really sitting right now for them. On the OKC side, let's start with Paul George, 31 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 4 3-pointers, and a steal. Shot pretty well, 12-25. Big night from Westbrook, 17, 11, and 12 on 6 of 15, shooting 2 3-pointers, 2 steals, and a block. Free throws, 3 of 4. I'll take that from Westbrook. Adams, 25 points. Nice night from him. 12 rebounds, 3 assists, 11 of 14 from the field, 2 steals, and a block. He went 3 of 6 from the line, but that's kind of expected in his game. Ferguson, 38 minutes, but not much fantasy-wise. Someone stay away from. And a really disappointing night from Dennis Schroeder. 21 minutes. I thought he might. Well, he went 0 for 7, so that just killed his value. Had a steal. Not much to speak of, though. There's really no one here. Oh, Jeremy Grant came back. Or I don't know if he was out, but feels like he's been out. 37 minutes tonight, 19 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 5 3-pointers, a steal, 3 blocks. Another guy that I missed on this year that I don't know if I'll target him next year. I think he's going to be too hyped up, but he's such a quality player. He's a really good player, and his stats that shows that as well. OKC fighting for their lives. I believe they're in the 7th spot in the West going into tonight. This should help a little bit, but we're not going to see any guys appear from nowhere like we have on other teams. So no changes here. Any thoughts from you on the Thunder?
Not really too much for me to add. I don't really got too much. We kind of know who all their guys are. I like your take on Grant. And again, a disappointment with Schroeder tonight. And really surprised that Nerlens Noel or, they got Morris. They added Morris during the season. Like those guys, Yeah, I mean, I kind of knew that they wouldn't really be major fantasy contributors, but I just expected them to play better and just, I guess, have a bigger role, even if they're coming off of the bench. But um, I am really excited about the Thunder for the offseason, though, Neil. I can't wait for these playoffs to get underway, man. There is so many interesting matchups, and the Thunder, they could give a lot of teams trouble, man. We know Paul George is up there, plays just as good as anybody. Russell Westbrook brings it. They got a really nice supporting cast, as we mentioned, Grant, Adams. They got a pretty good bench, so I definitely think, man, Thunder, they can go pretty deep in the playoffs, so I'm looking forward to it. Neil, any close? Oh, and by the way, I'm looking at the standings. Looks like the Thunder in the 7th spot right now, but the Jazz, they're basically tied with the Jazz. And then San Antonio is only one game behind them, and the Clippers are only one game in front of them at the 5th seed. So this could easily flip-flop, like very easily. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens down the stretch here. Neil, any closing thoughts on the night in general?
No, it's nice to have a little slow night here. I have enough fantasy players going to keep me interested, and enough to talk about. But I am exhausted, so I'm happy to have a 3-game night and let you do the last 2 games. So thank you for taking care of that. Hit me up on Twitter. I'm at Ball with Neil. And that's it. I'll be back tomorrow night. Adrian, you'll be back for 2 more games.
Awesome. All right, you guys. Neil is out of here. I'll be back for 2 more. Thanks. Okay, you guys, I am back for the final 2 games from Wednesday evening. Let's jump right into it. Let's take a look at the Wizards and the Suns first. This one was a pretty close game. The Wizards getting the victory 124-121. Let's jump into the Wizards side of this game first. And Thomas Bryant has been rock solid ever since he moved into the starting lineup. This is a pretty big double-double here. 18 points with 19 rebounds. He also added a steal, a block, 3 assists, gave you 2 threes as well, man. I actually really like this guy, man. I think he's going to be a pretty solid center, starting center in this league one day. Let's see. Let's keep going. Satoransky with 16 points, 3 steals, 2 assists, 1 rebound. He only shot 3 of 5 from the field, but he got to the line quite a bit. Was 10 of 12 from the free throw line. Bradley Beal, man, continuing his stellar season. I mean, I am really looking forward to see where Bradley Beal gets drafted next year. I mean, I think he's just raised his draft stock. I mean, I think we're going to be looking at him in the 1st round for sure, which is outstanding. 28 points for him, a steal, a block, 4 assists, 2 rebounds. He gave you 5 threes, shot 11 of 22 from the field, 1 of 4 from the line. Bobby Portis wasn't good in this one. Only 6 points in 23 minutes. Only shot 2 of 8 from the field. Troy Brown Jr. has been pretty disappointing. He only gave you 2 points in 23 minutes. I'm hanging on to Troy Brown in dynasty leagues, though. I think he's going to be pretty good pro one day, but he still needs some development for sure. Off the bench, man, I think Parker definitely needs to be picked up. 28 points for him, 15 rebounds, 3 assists. He added 2 threes, shot 9 of 16 from the field. He was 8 of 10 from the line. He looks pretty good. McRae had a good game off the bench. He had 21 points. Not much else, though, but shot really well. He was 8 of 10 from the field, a perfect 5 of 5 from the line. I just don't know if I trust him, though. I think most nights he's going to be a letdown. Man, this team, no Ariza. We know we're not going to see Wall for a long time. Dwight Howard, I mean, we should not expect him back. So I think, yeah, man, make sure Bryant is owned. Portis, I think, should be pretty good. And we know Beal's a stud. And that's about all I got for the Wizards. Let's jump over onto the Suns. Let's start with Devin Booker, who had a 50 burger, man. 50 points, a steal, a block, 4 assists, 10 boards. He gave you 3 threes, shot 19 of 29. How is that for usage rate? 9 of 10 from the line. He has been, offensively, he's been on a tear. Love the 10 rebounds from him as well. That's outstanding. Bridges is just a letdown, man. Even though he's starting and getting good minutes, just his usage rate is so low. In 34 minutes, he took 6 shots and made 1. He had 4 points, 2 steals, 5 assists, 4 rebounds. I do like his outlook in dynasty leagues, though. I do think maybe 2 seasons from now, he could be a pretty solid fantasy asset. Bender, 12 points, a steal, 2 blocks, 6 rebounds, 3 threes, 4 6 from the field. He was 1 of 2 from the line. It's possible you're streaming him in deeper leagues, but probably not standard leagues. DeAndre Ayton with a nice double-double and 14 points, 10 rebounds. I always get excited when he gets some blocks, and he gave you 2 blocks here. 6 of 13 from the field, 2 of 3 from the line. Ayton, another guy really curious going into next season where people have him, because he was one of those guys coming into the draft this season where his draft stock just like exploded. Like, he went from a guy who, like, in mock drafts where I was getting in like the 6th round, where all of a sudden the weeks leading up to like draft day, he was going in like the 2nd, 3rd round, and like his he was just exploding his value. So I think this season, somewhat, even though it's been good, it just hasn't been the spectacular season everyone was expecting. So I'm kind of curious if his draft stock takes a hit, and if he gets drafted more in that 4th round range. So let's see what happens. D'Anthony Melton has been a big disappointment for me. I loved this guy coming into the season. I thought he was just gonna like surprise everyone and be a stud, and he definitely has not been that, but I'm still a little bit encouraged. 4 points, 2 steals, 4 assists, 2 rebounds. His usage is so low. He only took 4 shots in 22 minutes. So, I talk about it all the time, how difficult the point guard position is. It takes a while for point guards to really like get used to the speed of the game on the NBA level. And it's really rare when you see a point guard come in and kill it right off the bat. I mean, there are exceptions like Damian Lillard and Kyrie Irving. Those guys like came in right off the bat. But for a lot of guys like Jeff Teague, Mike Conley, it takes a couple years for them to figure it out. So, I'm still really optimistic on D'Anthony Melton in dynasty leagues. All right, not much to talk about off the bench. I don't really trust any of these bench guys. Really sad that Oubre Jr. is done for the year, man, because he was looking really good. Oubre, another guy next season. I think his draft stock actually improved from what we saw from him this year. Really good fit on the Suns. It also really depends on what the Suns do in the draft, because, the Suns expected to get a top 5 pick. They could land a stud. That could definitely affect the value of guys like Bridges and Oubre. So we got to see what happens during the summertime. All right, I'm done with this game. Let's move to the final game from Wednesday evening, the Lakers and the Jazz. As a Laker fan, happy to see the Lakers get a loss in this one. The Jazz win 115-100. Let's take a look at the Lakers first. No LeBron James in this one. I think we're going to see LeBron sit in some more games for sure. Their best line was probably Kyle Kuzma. I like Kyle Kuzma. The 21 points is nice. 2 threes on 8-18 shooting, but I really wish he did more in some of these other categories. Only 2 rebounds, 2 blocks. Didn't give you any assists or steals. Still pretty good, though. And JaVale McGee, nice double-double, 16 points, 13 rebounds, 2 blocks, shot 7 of 15 from the field. Didn't even hurt you from the line. He was 2 of 2, so that's nice. Lance Stevenson, I heard he's a little banged up, but still played 30 minutes, got 10 points, 2 steals, 5 assists, 2 rebounds. Caldwell Pope with only 7 points in 28 minutes. Rondo was ugly. His shot was ugly tonight. Was only 1 of 11 from the field for 3 points. Did add 6 assists, a steal, and 5 rebounds, though. Don't trust any bench guys from the Lakers, and it's been a really rough season for the Lakers. And as we know, Ingram done for the season, Ball done, Hart is hurt right now. Bullock, who I thought could have some value, didn't even play in this one. And it's been a bad season for the Lakers. All right, let's move over to the Jazz. Donovan Mitchell with a pretty big letdown here. 3 of 11 from the field for only 11 points. He did have 4 assists, but did not do much else. Added a 3, but this is very disappointing. Rudy Gobert with a nice line. 22 points, 11 rebounds, 2 steals, 3 blocks. Love those defensive stats. 9 of 12 from the field, 4 of 6 from the line. Joe Ingles, man, this is nice. He's been playing much better. Has had a real up and down season, but I feel like he's been pretty rock solid of late. 11 points, 14 assists. You gotta love those dimes. Also added 9 rebounds, flirting with the triple-double here. Gave you 3 threes, shot 4 of 10 from the field, so pretty decent game. Ricky Rubio, 10 points, 8 assists, 5 boards, 3 of 9 from the field, 4 of 5 from the line. Derek Favors, this is nice. 20 points, 6 rebounds, a steal, a block. He shot 9 of 13, only 2-7 from the line, but still a pretty good game from him. Crowder had a solid game off the bench. 16 points, 2 assists, 6 rebounds, 1 steal, 3 threes. He shot 4 of 9 from the field, 5 of 6 from the line. Not much else to talk about with the Jazz. And I think that's it, man. I think that is all for the games from Wednesday night. Hope you guys are having a good week. Hope you guys, if you guys are in your championship week, wish you guys luck. Neil and I will be back Thursday evening to go over the slate from those games. And I want to thank you guys again for listening and for supporting the show. We will see you guys later.
This has been a Hoop Ball presentation.